Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism, and this video is going to be about what can potentially happen when you try to hold a narcissistic person accountable. And trying to hold a narcissistic person accountable isn't advisable, as narcissistic people feel entitled to do as they please and they lack the empathy to care for how their behaviour affects you. So what we need to do instead is recognise their behaviour, recognise their patterns of behaviour as they do tell on themselves once we learn who they are as a person, and distance ourselves from that person. Recognise what their behaviour is teaching us rather than what we can teach them about their behaviour. There's lots of different reasons why people want to call a narcissistic person out, why people want to hold a narcissistic person accountable. One of those reasons is we just want them to know that we know. Narcissists aren't interested in this whatsoever. They will often seek to sabotage you if they think you know something that you can potentially use against them to expose them. So wanting a narcissist to know that you know can often put you in danger. We can also want to hold them accountable in the hope that they will recognise their behaviour, feel remorseful for their behaviour and change their behaviour. They simply lack the empathy to do this. Their behaviour is designed to manipulate and exploit you to get their needs met. So trying to hold them accountable, they just learn how to give you a false apology so they can further manipulate you, and then they punish you for trying to hold them accountable. We can just try to hold somebody accountable. We can try to just call somebody out to just have that communication, that two-way conversation to gain a better understanding of each other. Narcissistic people don't want that communication. They want to win, and they want to win at all costs to you. We could just have our instincts, know something, but we don't have the evidence. So we go and approach them in the hope that they're going to inform us, yet as they are exploitative people, the last thing they're going to do is inform us. What they're going to do is try and hide what they are doing to you from you all the more. We can try to hold them accountable just to resolve issues, just to solve issues, just to find solutions, to work through life problems. Narcissistic people aren't interested in working through your problems. They're working towards creating your problems so they can better themselves. Sometimes we can just want to let someone know how their behaviour has made us feel, as if someone approached us to let us know that our behaviour had hurt them or upset them in some way. We would feel remorseful, we would feel guilty, a bit like a narcissistic person when they're guilt tripping you because you've said no to them, so you feel bad and change your behaviour to serve them. You're not necessarily wanting them to change their behaviour, they're just wanting them to recognise how their behaviour has hurt your feelings and apologise. Narcissistic people aren't interested in that. They learn what hurts your feelings and then they do it all the more. So one thing a narcissist might do when you try to call them out is provoke you. They're going to go all out to goad you, to bait you, to gain that reaction from you, to mock you, to taunt you, to humiliate you, to frustrate you, to cause that anger and resentment within you. So you react, and when someone is doing this to you, you can react badly. And when you react badly to a narcissist, that's all the evidence they need that you're the one that's causing the issues and they're the innocent party. Therefore, now you must make it up to them for raging out at them. Another thing they might do is just shift all the blame onto you. Well, if you hadn't, I wouldn't. Well, if you'd have paid me more attention, well, you forgot to remind me. Narcissistic people don't do responsibility. They do passing the blame, passing the shame, finding a scapegoat so that they don't have to take responsibility. If they wanted to, they would. They don't, which is why they go through so many never-ending mind games in order to shift the blame so they can escape the consequences of their actions. They might come at you with the false apologies. And it is a false apology because they don't want to recognise what they've done. They don't feel remorseful for what they've done. They're not interested in repairing any damage. They're interested in getting away with their behaviour. And they feel like you have forced their hand into apologising so they can further exploit you. And this is when they will say, I'm sorry you, I'm sorry if, I'm sorry but, as they fail to take responsibility. And if their false apology works, then they seek to punish you for making them apologise to you. Gaslighting. When you go to communicate with someone about something and you come away feeling more confused than when you first started, that isn't a person you should be communicating with. With a narcissistic person, you go and try to hold them accountable, try to discuss something with them, and they turn around and claim that you're the one that's imagining things, that never happened, that they never said that you're the one that's causing the arguments. They start accusing you of things that you're not even doing, so that you have to start defending yourself to them so that they don't have to defend themselves to you. They can come at you with the word salad. They can start off quite soft and say, do we really need to discuss this now? I told you I didn't want to argue with you. What about what the neighbour did last week? Hey, you never guess what happened at work. And I was thinking of treating us to that holiday. Do you fancy going on that? And they're just going to take you through so many different topics of conversation that by the end of it, you're lost. And every time you try to bring it back to the original, they're going to accuse you of trying to start an argument with them, wanting to ruin the evening with them. So you're the one that's left feeling bad, and you never get to have that deep communication, that conversation with them to resolve things, to work through things, to plan things, because they're not interested in that. They're interested in having everything their own way. They might go all out to hoover you. So when you try to hold them accountable, when you try to call them out, they might turn around and say, oh, yes, well, what about next month? Why don't you plan a date for next month? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why don't we look at that holiday? They're going to start playing nice. They're going to start doing things for you to make you feel bad for trying to hold them accountable. They might rage out at you. When a narcissistic person fears things such as exposure, this leaves them wide open for vulnerability. Therefore, they might rage out at you in order to protect themselves. This can put you in danger, which is why calling a narcissistic person out or trying to hold them accountable by yourself is never a wise move. There are lots of different ways a narcissist might rage out, from physical, direct to you, to throwing things, to shouting. However, they will claim that that was your fault, you made them do it. Yet when they frustrate you, provoke you, fail to communicate with you, and you rage out at them, they will claim that that's your fault because you can't keep hold of your anger. Nothing is ever a narcissistic person's fault in their eyes. Another thing they might do is simply just fall silent on you, just fail to communicate with you, which is going to irritate you, it's going to frustrate you, it's going to annoy you, and potentially can cause you to rage out at them, in which case they're going to bring all the attention onto your rage to distract you from theirs. When someone is giving you their silent treatment, respect their silence and remain silent towards them. Leave them to it. And another thing a narcissistic person will do if you try to hold them accountable is find a new source of supply so that they can gain the admiration they believe they're entitled to from elsewhere, while hopefully punishing you for not living life on their terms. Any behaviours you noticed a narcissist display when you try to hold them accountable, when you try to call them out on something, please do add those into the comments for those reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.